Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm gonna share with you all about calorie density. This was a requested video, and I swear that I've done a dedicated video on calorie density, but I went back and I couldn't find it. It's something that I talk about all of the time, but this video will be focused purely on what it is and why it's helpful for weight loss. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so that you know when I have new videos coming out. If you want to see more videos on this subject, do let me know down in the comments below, and I can even do like a what I ate in a day according to calorie density if it's helpful to you. Okay, so let's get into what calorie density is. Some of my most viewed videos are about weight loss and why can't I lose weight on a vegan diet. There's lots of comments and people having this struggle. And I do want to say it's very possible to be vegan and be overweight, or to be a fat vegan. I totally just said that. It is absolutely possible. With more options of processed vegan foods on the market today than there has ever been before, it's absolutely possible to have a vegan diet and yet still be overweight. So the secret to ultimate weight loss is calorie density. This is something that I talk about a lot in my videos. It's what I work on with my clients in my weight loss course. And I do want to say there is absolutely a mental aspect to weight loss and a lot of self-sabotaging patterns that can go along with that. So when I work with people with my vegan weight loss course, there's an element of the mind and there's this element of food. And when it comes to food, calorie density is key to losing weight. So what is calorie density and why does it matter? The average person's stomach is about the size of a cantaloupe, holds about 400 calories or 4.2 cups of food, about 1 liter of food. So in order to feel full on fewer calories, because in order to lose weight, you have to create a calorie deficit, you need to make sure you're having bulk in your food and volume in your food, and that's what keeps you full. So bulk can only come from foods like fruits, vegetables, whole grains, beans, legumes. I sound like a broken record because I'm constantly talking about eating those things, but those are the foods on the low end of the calorie density scale. Now, on the high end of the calorie density scale are things that are rich in calories but poor in nutrients, the highest being oils. Oils are not great for us in the slightest. They're not great for our health. They're not great for our heart and our arteries. They're not great for weight loss at all. They have no nutritional value and they're pure fat. So you do not need to have those if you're trying to lose weight and regain health. So whenever I work with somebody, the first thing that I talk about is making sure that you severely limit or completely eliminate oils from your diet. Most people eat about 3 to 5 pounds a day, and in order to continue to eat that amount of food per day and still lose weight, you need to make sure that you're eating these bulk producing foods. So the only way to continue to eat that amount of food is to lower the overall calorie density of the foods that you're consuming. And if you do that at about 500 calories per day, you lose a pound a week. Now, we all know that diets don't work. If you're searching for gimmicks and you're searching for some kind of crash diet that's gonna work, the only thing that hinges on is deprivation. Deprivation long-term will not work because you deprive yourself for only a certain amount of time until you cannot handle it anymore and you're like, lay off me, I'm starving, I just want to eat everything. This does not work. You never feel fully satisfied when you're working with deprivation or a deprivation type diet. And it's never the key to long-term weight loss. But when you utilize calorie density, you can literally take in 2 times the amount of food and still lose weight because the overall calorie count is lower. So a little backstory with me and how it relates to weight loss. I always struggled with weight my entire life throughout my teenage years and moving on. When I first became a vegan, I ate a lot of whole foods, I did a lot of detoxing, and I lost weight immediately. Without realizing it, I was applying the principles of calorie density, and that's why I lost weight. Now, I ascribe to a whole food plant-based diet, but it is still totally possible to gain weight eating that way by having too many calorie-dense foods in your diet. So whenever I feel like I've crept up a little bit in weight, this is something that I constantly will pay attention to, is what is the calorie density of the foods I'm eating. And when I hone into that, and when I help people hone into that, like that, myself and my clients lose weight. Now, this is not my invention in the slightest. There's plenty of doctors that talk about calorie density. There's plenty of YouTubers that talk about calorie density. There's lots of scientific studies out there. I'm just one more person attesting to the fact that this does work. So the problem with eating processed foods is that they are calorie rich and nutrient poor. And anytime you process something, the volume of it actually decreases. So if you even think about something as simple as oatmeal, and then you put it in your Vitamix to make oat flour, the quantity of the flour compared to the whole oats is reduced. So you actually can't eat as much as if you were eating the whole food and getting all of that bulk and fiber that's going to keep you satisfied. Volume creates bulk with fiber and water intact. And then you can end hunger and feel satisfied on fewer calories. I've got a fussy little baby here. I'm sorry, she's gonna be in the video now. You can enjoy her cuteness and hopefully she'll fall asleep. So fiber is actually the thing that makes us feel full and helps us lose weight because we feel full on fewer calories. So people might say, what about juices or smoothies? And I'm 100% not against juicing or having smoothies. Both are great ways to get in a lot of hydration, vitamins, and minerals into your diet in a really easy way. So I absolutely juice and have smoothies often, but if we're talking about weight loss, you wanna stick to those whole foods because those are gonna keep you fuller longer. So what I wanna share with you now is like a visual, some comparisons of what it looks like to have different kinds of food and how they fill up our stomach. So at the beginning of this video, you'll remember I mentioned that about 4.2 cups is the size of our stomach, and our stomach can hold 400 calories. So let's look at the difference between 400 calories of different kinds of food and how that will fill you up. Again, this is not something I made up, but I believe the visual is so powerful and it's a really great way to just get this concept in your brain. So when you're looking at these visuals, I want you to think of what will fill up your stomach more. So let's start with 400 calories of oil, and you can see that this barely will fill you up at all, yet you're getting a ton of calories and fat without any of the satiation. So let's compare 400 calories of oil to 400 calories of oats. Let's do 400 calories of oil compared to 400 calories of brown rice. 400 calories of oil versus 400 calories of black beans. 400 calories of processed white flour compared to 400 calories of steel-cut oats. Now let's look at the difference between this bag of candy, which is about 1,200 calories if you consume the whole thing, to 1,200 calories of potatoes. That is a lot of potatoes, and people a lot of times think potatoes are not a weight loss food. They are absolutely a weight loss food. You can eat a ton of potatoes and still lose weight. That is a lot of potatoes. That is going to fill you up. Whereas the bag of candy for 1,200 calories, if I ate that whole bag of candy, I would almost be at my limit for calories that I could intake the whole day, yet I would be starving because I've only had a bag of candy. If I had 3 pounds of potatoes, now that's a different story. If I add some greens to that, again, very low calorie, but lots of volume, I'm gonna be totally full, even if I only ate potatoes and greens that day. So you might be thinking, okay, this makes sense to me, I get it, but how do I incorporate calorie density into an everyday kind of thing that I can do to lose weight? So I'm gonna share with you 2 ways. One way that works for most people is to start each meal with either a really large salad, at least the size of your head, with lots of different vegetables that you enjoy, and eat that first because it's going to give you that volume and that fiber and that bulk before you move on to, say, your beans and whole grains, or a whole grain pasta and a marinara sauce. You could also do a no oil vegetable-based soup. That's going to fill you up as well because of all the vegetables, but also a lot of water in it because it is a soup. So you could start with things like that. So adding a soup or a salad as your first course before you eat anything else, especially for lunch and dinner, is going to help you stay full, and you're going to be able to abide by the rules of calorie density, as long as your second course contains still those low calorie density foods, but on the heartier side, so beans and legumes, whole grains, or potatoes. The second way that you can implement calorie density into your regular everyday eating is just to split your plate in half and do a 50-50 plate. Now this concept is from Dr. McDougall, and it is what he recommends for ultimate weight loss. And essentially it's just having half of your plate be those more filling, lower calorie density foods, potatoes, whole grains, beans, legumes, and then the other half of your plate being either a mix of fruit, leafy greens, any kind of non-starchy vegetable that you enjoy, and really limiting any fat that you have. While we're on the subject of fat, let's talk about why nuts and seeds are on the higher end of the calorie density scale. So you can put 400 calories of nuts or seeds in our jar again and see that it barely fills up the stomach. Nuts and seeds are not bad for you at all. They are a whole food, but you want to have them in moderation if you're trying to lose weight, because again, they're calorie rich. They're not nutrient poor. They have lots of nutrients, and we definitely need whole sources of fat in our diet, but we need to have it in much smaller amounts than most people have, because that's another reason that you can gain weight. So looking at what 400 calories of nuts or seeds looks like versus 400 calories of broccoli, there's no denying the broccoli will fill you up. Do you want to eat 400 calories of broccoli in one sitting? Probably not, but you get my point. more vegetables, more fruits, more of those low calorie density foods, the more you will lose weight. In fact, when you follow the principles of calorie density, you honestly have no choice but to lose weight. Unless you're already at your normal set point for your body, you will lose weight. So barring any mental issues you have with food, and all of us have some kind of mental issue with food, whether we think we do or not. So that's a good place to examine. Sidebar. With calorie density, you can truly eat as much as you want of those low calorie density foods and feel full, feel satisfied, and lose weight. So if you have any questions about calorie density or anything I've spoken about this video, leave it down in the comments below. This is really a simple way to lose weight when it comes to getting the right foods in your body at amounts that leave you feeling satisfied. So I hope that you take advantage of this information and that you put it into use if you're trying to lose weight. If you need a little bit more help or you'd like some guidance or one-on-one coaching, head over to my website, check out my page on the vegan weight loss course that I have available to you. I deal with the mind, and I also deal with food and help create unique strategies to help you on your weight loss journey. So if you're interested in that, please check it out, and feel free to contact me if you want to do a 15-minute free consultation. I'd love to help you. It's truly my passion to help people with weight loss. I think there's something so cool about losing weight. It changes your perspective on literally your entire life. It's like the first domino in a row of dominoes, and once you feel empowered and are able to change your weight, you realize you can change so many other things in your life. I love to see people's light bulbs turn on and change their life for the better. Okay, so if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up because it really helps out my channel, and subscribe. And if you'd like to see more videos on the subject of calorie density, let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Little Naya's almost asleep now. So my hope is that you understand what calorie density is and how it can be very helpful to you if you're trying to lose weight. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.